So I study the intersection of language and culture, and people are concerned that teenagers are destroying the language, that they're not going to become functional adults when they reach adulthood because they'll be using this teenage-style language. What we observe with teenagers is this is something that's very important for that social moment because it helps them bond with their peers. It also helps teach them about communicating towards your audience. It's a form of language play, and as a linguist, I know play is a good thing. It gives you practice. As a teenager, it makes sense to use language to form bonds with your peers, whereas when you're an adult, oftentimes you're using language for more economic ends. So that kind of change makes sense. For my study, my specific question had to deal with accent, specifically how individuals were pronouncing their vowels. I looked at children in the 4th grade time point, 10th grade, 12th grade, and then adulthood. And what that allowed me to do was take a time point before they reached adolescence and a time point after adolescence and two time points in the middle of adolescence. While things like multiple negation changed in fairly predictable ways over the life cycle, there was no predictable change for accent. Instead, the things that correlated with pronunciation were things like community demographics, what kind of neighborhood you grew up in. In the US, a lot of social and regional information is encoded in how we pronounce our vowels. So for example, you can identify a Southerner when they say Carolina or Tom, and you can identify someone from New York City when they say something like quat. Right? That's very distinctive. So even just listening to a vowel sound, people are very good at picking up on social information. Throughout history, going all the way back to the Roman Empire, people my age and older have had fits about how young people are using language and how they're destroying language. And yet, we've continued as humans to speak for centuries, for millennia. So clearly this natural process of language change isn't destroying language any more than any other kind of cultural change is destroying us as humans. It's just a part of being human. It's part of the human story.